Good morning, Academy55 premium members and everybody else who's watching the recording. David Kahn here on Wednesday, the 26th of February, 2025. It's 5 to 8 in the morning here in the UK. We're looking at the EUR USD Forex pair and looking what if we can take a trade on the 1 minute time frame, following our Academy55 indicators and strategy. But we're also looking on the 5 minute time frame, like we are at the moment, to see if price has been in the zones. And as you can see, we're right in the middle, in between the zones. Our confirmations, as it were, to go for a buy or a sell. So we're right in the middle of that at the moment. So now would be a prudent time to go and look at the bigger picture. I always do, to see what price is doing very, very generally. So I'm going to go on the daily time frame. These lines here are lines that have been drawn up previously that were near the action at the time when I drew the lines. And we're on the daily time frame now. So what we can see is price generally is coming back down again. We drew a trend line the other day, and will it be coming to kiss that trend line before going up again? The EUR USD is reacted off that high there, coming back down again. Is it coming down? Like I said, is it coming down to meet that trend line yet again? So we'll go on the 4-hourly time frame, and now we can see that slanting trend line that we drew usually after 3 touches. And we've got a little bit of a pullback now. The euro wishing to go dollar higher, and we can see imbalance on this candle here. So that's fairly near to where we are. So it's prudent to draw that imbalance. On that candle there, I've got the wrong box for me. Settings. Go into it's a sell FEG, which really means fair value gap. On this candle here, we've had lots of selling power, no buying power on this side, no buying power on that side, and that's the box that needs to be filled. But also, we have another fair value gap, a very, very small one. The opposite, which is a bullish fair value gap. Because we've got this candle here, we've got all buy, no selling power on this little section, and no selling power on this little section. Just it's not as big as that one, but it's still relevant. That needs to be filled. There, if I scooches up a bit, makes it bigger. And see where it is where the support line is, previous support line, and the trend line. So could price be coming down here to mitigate that? So that's an interesting area to look at if price meanders its way. On the 4 hourly though, we can see a big indecision. Which way should we carry on going down, or are we going to go back up again? This is the time of the day when sometimes trend changes tend to happen. Let's go on the line bit, turn these candles into line candles and see if we can see any significant lines on the 4 hourly. Not really. So we'll go down to the hourly. Look at the same. See if there's any significant areas. Right here is a significant area. I'd say that area there, because we've had support there before price went up again, and we've had resistance there before price went up again, and that's fairly near the our price at the moment. And as always, the other near, we've got a little bit here as well, I suggest. Because back last Friday, we've had price supporting on this line here. So that could be a fairly significant area to look for. And then you've got the other line that we drew in anyway. So we've got our lines. Go back to ordinary candles. Go back down to the 5 minute. And now we can draw the zones in so they're visible on the 1 minute. So we get our horizontal ray, we've got a zone there. It's interesting, that's right where the imbalance is. And we got another zone right where the support and resistance is, I think it is. So now we've got that. Right, it's time to play this now. Get rid of that.
Hi, this is Steve, and in this short video I'm going to just show you the settings for the Trade Assistant to make sure that you've got the minimum 2 pip stop loss on the Euro USD or any currency pair, and how you set it for if you're trading a commodity like the US 100, because the settings are slightly different. So here you can see we're on the Euro USD chart here. I've got my risk to reward on the Trade Assistant locked at 2 to 1. I've got my risk balance at 1%. Lot calculator is on, and my little purple button here between the buy and sell is also activated. So we're ready to bring the Trade Assistant onto the chart. Now you'll notice here that we've got the stop loss set at 20. That indicates 2 pips when you're on a currency pair. And we can actually change that here by typing over it. So if I type in there 40 and just tab off here, you can see now we've got a stop loss of 4 pips because we're on a currency pair. In this example, it's Euro USD, but it could be Euro GBP or any currency pair. So let's just put that back to 20 for our 2 pips. We'll click off here, and now we'll just put the lines on so that you can see that is showing us 2 pips over here on the actual tool, ready to actually get involved with a trade if that's what we were going to do. But that's not what we're here for now. I'm going to click off the lines here, and what we're going to do is we're going to change our chart from Euro USD to US 100, and I can do that by dragging it onto the screen here. You'll see it now switch over to US 100. And now you can see that stop loss says 20, and that's wrong for a commodity. So what we want to do here is come in here and type 2000, this is the equivalent of 2 pips on a commodity such as US 100. So now when I put the lines on, you'll see we've got the number 2000 here, and if I just zoom around, you'll notice the 2 to 1 still applies, 2000 and 4000 here, where we've got a $1,000 trade in place, risking $1,000 to win $2,000. So that's the number that you need to get your 2 pip minimum on. So the minimum number would be 2000. You could have anything above that if you're on a commodity like US 100, and the number will be 20, which is 2 pips equivalent if you're on a currency pair such as Euro USD. Hopefully you found this useful, and thanks very much for watching.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Okay, so go off that. We'll go back onto our TradingView chart as of now, and we will go back to the minute. We've got all our lines already. There is the start of the imbalance. Price, this line here is a fairly important area. I just noticed this area here, where the dotted line is, 1.05000 is what we call a key zone area, a psychological area where long-term traders looking to take trades out, start trades, either buy or a sell, we don't know. So these areas are psychological areas that need to be drawn up sometimes, but we already know that. We got our sell zone here, our imbalance here. But we also got a lot of consolidation. This area here is a lot of consolidation, which could effectively go like that for a substantial amount of time. We have Swiss news at 9 o'clock, so they might be waiting for that. We don't know how good or bad the news is going to be. It might not come to nothing, but we could surmise maybe they're in a holding pattern just because of news at 9 o'clock, which is in nearly 50 minutes time. But let's put our indicators back on. So this is a buy. We have no confirmation of a buy because this is the buy zone down here. And if we was going into that one, we were around at that time. Keeping a minimum of 2 pips away. Would have had to get into it about there. Which, that's the minimum there, but I probably would have got into it there. So I would have given myself a 3 pip stop loss if I was on the bull. But that then takes into a 2 to 1 into the sell zone. But it's looking very much like it could very well do that because we're breaking into the imbalance. And I would have taken that myself because I'm waiting for price to get into confirmation territory. For example, a sell zone. So I'm going to be waiting for the next sell personally. But I can well see how this buy may work. There was no confirmations of that because this is the buy zone down here. Because again, we only need 1 or 2 trades a day. We want as many confirmations as possible, the best probabilities as possible. But we know we have a 65% win rate by doing this in the past. So 65% win rate, the odds are slightly in our favor, being 15% more than 50%. So we know this. So some people may have taken that trade. But in respect of the fact I have time and patience on my side, looking for the best probabilities, I like to wait for a better confirmation, i.e. price going into the zones, where from a 65% chance, it really goes up to like a 70%, between 70 and 75% chance of the trade being in your favor, which is even better odds. But we've got that there. We'll see how that goes. But really now we've touched the sell zone. So I'll be looking for the next sell, which would be, we'll mark that up. Don't forget all the time we are in consolidatory area here. And that's the sort of scenario for a sell at the minute. Anticipating a green wave, but the waves are getting bigger, which indicates the volume for the buy is getting stronger. And now we're out of that consolidatory zone. It looks very much like that price is going to go indeed higher into sell zone territory. But the next alert is a sell alert anyway, because we've got sell, buy, sell, buy. So the next alert for us would be a sell. We'll have the extra confirmation of price fraternizing with the sell zone. We know the we was debating whether the where is it? And there is that the trend line? Where is? I'm looking for that trend line that I drew up earlier on. There it is. Oh right, that's miles away yet. But we're yeah, we're that's miles away, so that's not even relevant. So that'll be down there somewhere. But if I was on that buy there, I would tend to put my stop loss to at least to my entry there to protect my equity. If I was on that, I'm not, because I was busy talking to you guys, and also I was waiting for confirmation of price getting into the sell zone, which it has now. So we'll be waiting for the next sell. But I wanted to show you a trade that I took yesterday afternoon. It's only a minute-long video. You can get a quicker trade than this, so that's why I've got time to play it for you. Here we go. Here at Academy55, we go for a 1 to 2 profit. They're not all as quick as this, but this is in real time. It only takes a minute, this video, so watch very, very closely. At the top there, you will see on the 5 minute, this is taken on the 1 minute time frame, but on the 5 minute time frame, price goes into what we call the sell zone. So therefore we take the next sell on our Academy 55 indicator. Indeed, the next sell did pop up. We get a red wave, a red sell alert, a red trend, and we take it down for a 2-to-1 profit, as you can see there. Like I said, they're not all as quick as this, but keep watching to the end. I'll show you the price going into the 5-minute time frame. If you want to know more, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and have a look in comments to see how you can join us with this phenomenal system. Hang on, sorry. Can I pause it? Do I pause? Can I pause it? As you can see, price went into the sell zone. That's the 5-minute time frame. And this is what it looked like on the minute. So classic one, and I was very surprised how quickly that took. No messing at all. So I was pretty pleased with that one. So I thought I'd show you that, seeing as it only lasted a minute. That was at 15:40 yesterday afternoon. They don't all happen as quick as that, especially on the EUR USD. It's usually the US 100 we get the quicker ones, but that's why I was so surprised with that one. But we don't really shouldn't really revel in how quick a trade is. Trade will, as long as the trade is, our analysis is successful. That's the most important thing. But now we got price indeed going a bit higher now. We're still looking for the next sell, which doesn't change anything at all. Like I say, we got news at 9 o'clock today. Let's see what the latest little information tidbits is. Dollar much safer than it was. Treasury real yields rebound. Dollar undermined by US growth worries. Dollar undermined by US growth worries. So that sort of maybe suggests very, very loosely that the dollar will be getting a bit weaker. So that means the euro will be going stronger. So this buy all of a sudden may lead on to bigger things for the euro. We don't know. Is there another sell zone above? Well, there is another sell zone. I'll mark that in. But we have all this imbalance. Maybe because they're taking advantage of a weak dollar, maybe this might be the time to equalize the playing field for them. And maybe that might be their mission for London opening, to eventually fill out all that imbalance and equalize the market. But we've got a little bit of imbalance down here. We've got this fairly important support and resistance line. It might wish to kiss again. Well, it's unfortunate we missed that trade there, but that was when I was setting up. And like I say, sorry, that's hindsight. That's fine because we did have no confirmation, i.e., price going into a zone or anything. So we had a lesser chance of a successful outcome. If you remember, I said taking Academy 55 indicator without going into the zones first, the extra confirmation reduces your win rate generally, but still the odds are in your favor. So now I'm waiting for the next sell. When have I got time for this? Right, so because that's going to continue buying at the minute. Keep an eye on it. So I'll drag this over here. This is I haven't tested this yet. This is yesterday. This is the 5 minute time frame, and I've used my time machine to go back, and we went all the way back to like I say, price went into the buy zone at 1640. So I'm going to get my time machine and go back to 1640. So we're going to be looking for the next buy on the 1 minute time frame. So let's see what happens on the US 100. So indeed, get my long position tool. Want to get to 20. That indicates 20,000 units. I'll make this a bit bigger. So indeed, I would have got in there. And as you can see, all of a sudden, that is a successful trade. And that was at 1646 yesterday afternoon. But the idea was to look for trades after 6 o'clock. So I'm going to take this. Let's just have a quick look and see what our trade. Oh, right. Okay. We're still moving up, so we haven't missed anything. I'm going to take the indicators off, go back on the 5 minute. So that's a successful trade there from that buy zone there. But I want to get over to this area here. So I'll just speed it on a bit and look for another zone. See, there is a zone because a lot of people come in after work and want to know what's going on in the weekend after work. Right, so as you can see, we've got a sell zone there. And that happened, well, we got the sell zone at 6:05. But you would have been alerted there. So we'll get the time machine, go there, go back down to the minute. Put our indicators on. So we're looking for the next sell. Even though this says buy, we know there's a sell zone there, so we wouldn't want to be fraternizing with that because we are indeed looking for the next sell zone. So let's see what happens. This is at, like I said, this is at 1839. Play this on. So indeed at 7 o'clock yesterday evening, let's get the short position tool out. Again, 20 pips, 20,000, 20, that's the equivalent of 2,000 units, which again is the equivalent of 2 pips. That is where the stop loss would be. So you'd be getting in there. Yeah, right on the sell alert, actually. Your 2-to-1 would be down there. Right, let's play this on and see what happens. There you go, just got your sell alert there. And as you can see, another successful trade. That was at 7:15 yesterday evening. So there we are. So the zones are still working. There's no reason why they wouldn't do. So, right, that imbalance indeed is being checked out now. We're deep into sell zone. We're back to today, by the way. Missed that one there. Was too busy setting up and talking to you guys. And also, I want the extra confirmation of price going into the zones because as you've seen, we increase our win rate by a few percent by doing so, getting that extra confirmation, finding the patience and the fear of missing out, deleting all that in your mind, being a very patient trader, waiting for all these things to happen. And indeed, as we know, you can wait for all those things and you might accept a 1% loss, which happens, which does happen, obviously. But by me doing all these things, hopefully you recognize the sort of trading that we're in, the sort of conditions you're in, and then you know now really how to increase your percentage chance of actually winning a trade by your patience and waiting. But it looks like this might be going to the moon. Right, the imbalance has now been filled. They've done it. They've set out. They've equalized. So we might as well take that away now. And yet they're still going up, obviously. The question is, this is the next sell zone. Are there sell zones are order blocks? Are there loads of orders, sell orders here waiting to be taken? We go on the 15-minute time frame. Right, we've got 15 minutes imbalance on that candle there. I normally only draw the bigger ones because they got a lot, hold a lot more significance. But indeed, we have imbalance in here. So if there is a lot of sell orders up there, it would make, you would think it would make sense. Hang on, I'll just change the conditions here because settings. It would make sense depending on the times, because we've created imbalance down here now. So that do they want to sort out the imbalance as they go and then carry on up? We have 15, we have this big imbalance down here that needs to be filled, don't forget. So let's get my pointy tool. We're on the 15-minute time frame. So really I should, yeah, definitely take this off. But we have, this is a 4 hourly imbalance that we drew up, but it's obviously still relevant on the, what am I doing? I've got the wrong tool here. Sorry. This is the what I want, the pointer. So this candle here was all buy. That's why this box has been drawn up. As we can see, price likes balance. So are they going to be coming down to fill, not only fill this imbalance here that's been caused on the 15-minute time frame, but also this one down here, and maybe kissing that trend line again, the support and resistance line. Could be doing that within the London session, or have they got bigger fish to fry at the moment? We're on the 15-minute time frame, just having a look at the what's going on. Just as much as we got consolidation on lower time frames, we've also got consolidation on higher time frames. This is all a zone, what we call a zone. Let's go back on the hourly, change it to a line. See, so this area here, I didn't mark that out. But this area here is a significant area. 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, and this is where the sell zone was. Look at that. And it'll be prudent to do this one as well. 1 touch, 2 touches. So this is a significant area also. So has price found a new zone to go in? So we go down to the minute, put our indicators on. And now we've got a sell alert. And see where the entry is. Right. Going to my entry 4. As you can see, the sell alert hasn't, yeah, it just as listens to me. No, it doesn't. But I'm 2.1 pips away. We know we're in the sell zone. That imbalance has been filled. The question is, are they going to come down and fill out the imbalance that we know is down there? Certainly hope so. So we're waiting for all the reds to arrive. If it carries on down, that red volume ribbon will appear very, very quickly. The wave price gets down to these areas here. But prudently, I would like price to break that purple line because it likes to hang around the purple line. That's why it's there. That's our EMA 462, which is a Fibonacci number, in case you're wondering why. So we're hanging around waiting for things to develop, give us more confirmation of this sell. If indeed we do. Could go sideways because don't forget we got news at 9 o'clock, Swiss news. And we have been on here before, and Swiss news did go, I think it was about 13, 14 pips back along. But we doesn't always work out like that. So we should bear that in mind as we get to 9 o'clock if we're in a trade and make our decision then. It might be good. It might be good for us and progress to sell if we were in one. But it also might be bad for us and then take us out. That's the worry of news events. But it is the Swiss news. And depending on how strong the news is, whether it alters the euro or not. But it's something to bear in mind. Now, as you can see, the red volume ribbon has indeed turned red. Gone from green to red now. So we've got two of the components, three of the components because the parallel SAR is above price. We want these to turn red now, and also I want price to sort of go past this purple line, fearing the bounce or break. If indeed we get that far. I've not got on mute. I ain't got much to say at this juncture. You don't want to hear my jokes. I think being a DJ for 40 years, which is what I was, sort of ruined me because joke telling wise. Right. Okay. So the wave has indeed turned red now. This is where I'm going to lock this in because that's where I want my stop loss. But now I am waiting for price to break that purple line before getting into the trade because fearing the bounce or break. So it'll be about a 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 pip stop loss. But I feel I need that as confirmation because obviously if it bounces and breaks, it'll break more to the upside again and we continue on this buy, which could happen. and in which case, obviously, it takes my stop loss out. But by waiting for it to break that purple line, I've got yet another confirmation that we indeed could be going down to fill out these imbalances down here, and also that bigger imbalance which is down here. But that I'm basically leaking distance between stop loss and entry to get that confirmation, but I'd rather do that than not. We're on the purple line now. Is it going to bounce or break? If we see a clear indication that it will break, I'm going to continue on the sell. Doesn't mean to say I'm going to be right, of course. I mean, price could continue on this larger buy, but I've got reasons I know for price to go down here to fill out them imbalances. Right, I'm going to be in. I was anticipating the trend line to turn red. I'm 3.4 pips distance between stop loss and entry. I'm going to mark that up on there, 3.4, which is there. Takes my 2 to 1. Yeah. Sorry, I'll make these bigger. Sorry about that. And what did I anticipate too much? Because it did indeed. Oh God, anticipated too much, too quickly. I might be okay, but the trend line isn't even red yet. I still might be okay, but just as it did here, look, more or less the same area. So I think I might be facing down the barrel of a 1% loss because I didn't wait. I anticipated too quickly. Really, you should be waiting for price to get down here, really. But by doing that, I'm adding more distance between stop loss and entry. I mean, still might be okay, but ideally, you'd want like a 4 or 5 pip stop loss between stop loss and entry to get better confirmation. And indeed, we have broken this purple line, because I'm not convinced we have broken it yet. Trend line hasn't turned red as of yet, but one can imagine if price gets down to even here, the trend line will certainly go red. It's ready to go red at any second. But that was an anticipatory move by me, and that's something that I personally have to work on. Um, I hold my hands up. I mean, I'm just too eager to get in. And part of it for me, my mentality is part of it for me is my eagerness to show you how good these indicators are. So it's all your fault. The trend line has turned red now. So really, yeah, technically I'm pleased. We are in. And this area here, look, where it's 1.05, that's the key zone area. That's an area where things could sort of stop a little bit. Obviously, for this trade, I'm hoping it will continue on down, but this is where we are at. We've got a wee bit of imbalance down here. We've also got this line, support and resistance line, where we know it's a very important line. See price congregating around that line there. But it is what it is. We got red flag news in another 14 minutes time. God, that'd be really nice if we get in and out. Let's see where we are on the. Oh, we've broken that line, which is nice. That's good. Just a little bit more, and we would have had a successful trade. Another one pip move would do us. But we're creating all this imbalances, so this is why I say go and put the kettle on, make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, walk away from the screen, because this will be playing on your mindset. You do nothing for your nerves at all. So you are a bit nervy. There's absolutely no point. There's nothing you can do. Now, because of the parabolic has gone down there, I'm going to put my stop loss to my entry, because protecting my equity just in case things do turn the other way. But as you can see, I did reach that 2%. Scratching my head now. I don't need to go through all this. Go make a cup of tea. Let's go in the other way now. What, how do you feel? Oh no, oh no. It actually did touch that, because it kind of, this imbalance here, it kind of sorted that out. And does it feel that it needs to go down anymore? Because we've got imbalances up here now. Look, imbalances up here. But I've got my, I'm gonna drag my stop loss down to here, because I'm looking at it. You see, if I wasn't looking at it and I'd be away, I'm going to drag my stop loss down to that parabolic down there. I've got $548 on a $100,000 account for my troubles. So if it does do the worst and come back up again, I've got that, and that's fine. But if I wasn't looking at it, I'd just accept the 1% loss and carry on with my day. But because I'm looking at it with you guys, all these mental things are going through my head. Whereas normally I would not know all this is going on. So therefore, I wouldn't be facing a heart attack of raised emotions and all that, because there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm going to now pull that down equal with that parallel SAR. And now I've got $808 on a $100,000 account if things go the other way. But we're coming down again, hopefully to reach this level again. So I've got my finger over the close. So it's the reason why that didn't click in is because of commissions and everything like that. But we were so near it. And because I'm looking at it, I am not a robot. And it's how much is it? It's $1,700 on a $100,000 account. And because it's hanging around there, I'm going to close it. I'm going to close it. I'm gonna do that because we are hanging around this area. I'm getting all emotional because I'm looking at the trade where normally I wouldn't. And because it's just hanging around doing silly things, it very well may go down here. But I can see imbalances up here. I'm teaching you guys stuff that you shouldn't be taught, but I'm being honest because I'm looking at the trade. I'm a human being. I am trying to, I detach myself as much as I can from these things, but it's difficult. Some mornings you can detach yourself a lot more than other mornings. And because we're hanging around this area, I took that trade. So I took that trade about there. And as you can see, look, again, it's hanging around this support and resistance line. So I'm now really relieved and happy that I've done what I've done because the parallel SAR now has flipped the other way. And I took out the equivalent of 1.7% of my trade, which I'll mark up on my journal a little bit later on. And I'm happy I've done that. But the reality is, if I hadn't been looking at that, and I'd be down making a cup of tea, because this could very well, eventually, this might go up to here, might even go back up to here again, and then come back down. And because don't forget, we have a 70 to 75% chance because price has been in the sell zone. So we got 70 to 75% chance of this trade working. But to sit and watch it is very difficult. It's very difficult. So all things, sort of things go through your mind. And at the end of the day, if it loses, it's 1%. No big deal. Because I've given you several examples of price going into zones yesterday and looking at my journal. There are so many examples of winning trades, keeping your discipline, keeping your fear of missing out in check. And by doing that, just waiting. Now we're in the situation where I might as well just wait and see if this does eventually fall and indeed maybe get down to these levels here. And I would have got my 2%, but as it is, I'm happy now because I got 1.7. So that's good. Done for the day. Going to throw the chat open very, very quickly in case anybody's got anything they want to say. If you want to text something in the chat, please do, and I will answer it for you. AR, brilliant, thank you. I got in on the buy and the sell. Oh, right. Well, that's very naughty, Anna, really, because we only teach you to go after one trade. Bit greedy, Anna. Congratulations on that. But we say if you're successful on one trade, 2% will do you for the day. And then come back again tomorrow. So really this should have been for educational purposes only. But you only got 1% on the buy. Oh, okay. Rightio. I'll believe you. I should imagine you got 1% because you was looking at price coming up here where you know the sell zone and you took it out. Yeah. Yeah. It's quite understandable. That's good. I mean, in reality, how I you taught me well. Thank you very much, Anna. In reality, what I would have done is I would have put my stop loss to my entry once we got there and accepted a break even, if indeed that's what would happen. Because we got two barriers effectively. We got the purple line there where price was breaking. In hindsight, we could see price was breaking, but we we often say the price goes to these purple line. That's why it's there in the first place. And then waited for the final 2% and accepted a break even if it had happened. And then just put that down to experience. Steve says, I waited for all the reds before entering with a 2 pip stop loss and won a very fast 2%. Right, okay. See, that's why this is the perfect example of why yeah, you'll follow me, but I have my own cautious um reasons why I trade with my experience. You've all got your own experiences. That's why every trade is different. And I try to be honest and I speak as I think at the time. And this is me, but you are not me. You are, but this Academy 55 indicators are designed that it doesn't really matter because they tell you when to sell and when to buy. And I'm glad now looking at this now, you'd be glad that I took that 1.7 because I would have really put my stop loss to my entry. And as you can see, it just wicked there and I would have broken even. Steve Dawson, sticking to the tight rules. Nothing wrong with that. Because I am bringing emotion into play, which is not right, which is not what we should be doing. Like I said, I should be making a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, going down, putting the kettle on, and walking away from all this and accepting a 1% loss if indeed that what was going to happen. Anna's right. It's learning for you all. Of course it is. Oh, sorry, it was Ian said sticking to the tight rules. Yeah, indeed. Right, so this is where we're at. I think I can put that down personally as a successful day. Again, well, we got only 2 minutes to wait. Let's see if this news does do anything because we got Swiss news at 9 o'clock. To be honest, if I'd come back an hour later and saw that, I'd be looking for me money. And as you can see, it didn't because of commissions and all that. It touched my 2%, but didn't hit it. So, and if this goes up and takes me out now, I'd be, well, I wouldn't be peed off that much because I'll come back later on today and get it again. Coming up to this support and resistance line again, and also the sell zone. That was a former sell zone. We know disappeared because it was broken up here. Look. Ah, I got rid of the wrong line. So if you ever do that, just go there where it says undo and get the line back again. I meant get rid of that one there. That's it. Go back to the 1 minute time frame. We are indeed at 9 o'clock, and that news hasn't really moved anything at all. And as you can see, if anything, it was bad news for the euro. But that's not hardly a move, is it? That's nothing. That's 2 pips. But that could be news related to the Swiss news, probably is. But it's so minuscule, you can't really say it. So there, ladies and gentlemen, we will leave it at that. Thank you very much for your input. And so people are getting far too emotional about these wins. The idea of trading is to accept the losses just as much as the wins. But I accept the fact we are all people. We are not AI robots. So we can't help getting emotional because that's what we are. But really, we need to look at the more technical side of things and become less emotional in our trading, because it doesn't help us one little iota. Price will do what it's going to do. We trade what we see, not what we think, and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you can't help accept the fact that we are all human, and it's really difficult not to bring emotions into things, but we must strive to try and do that. One more little thing. Raj says, brilliant and collective as you. Well, you saw me thaw a bit there, Raj, but I do appreciate that. I tried to be the Iceman, because that like I keep saying, that is how you eventually reach your targets that you need, by trading what you see, not what you think. But you saw me thaw a little bit, but there we go. Right, so because I am human after all. I'm not an AI. I'm not an AI. I'm not an AI. I'm not an AI robot. Sorry, couldn't resist that. Anyway, with that being said, guys, have a great day, and we'll come back again and see you all tomorrow. So cheers for now. Bye bye.